Hey, what's up everyone? This is Nick at Stridewise.com. Today, I'm going to be taking a close look at the Wolverine 1000 Mile. So Wolverine has been a part of American boot culture for a really long time. They were founded back in 1883, and the company has a long and colorful history, which includes a stint developing pigskin gloves for the US Navy during World War II. But this is their most iconic piece of footwear. It is the 1000 Mile boot. The company came out with them in the 1910s when they developed an unusual method of processing shell horsehide into soft, pliable leather. Today, the boot is made of full-grain cowhide leather, but it still retains its reputation as a really unique and functional and durable piece of American footwear. So I'm going to take a close look and see if the craftsmanship lives up to the reputation. So when you first take a look at a pair of Wolverine 1000 Miles, the first word I think of is rugged. These are not high fashion boots. They don't have like a toe cap or mock toe stitching. They don't even have a leather lining. They're just built for function and durability and to get the job done. Some would call them basic, I would call them classic. They really are classic pieces of American footwear. They're not too outdoorsy, they're not too indoorsy. And again, they are built for relative durability. You've got a nice triple stitch along the vamp here, although only the middle stitch is white, so it gives it a slightly more understated look. The leather is pretty thick. It's about 2 millimeters thick, which is a lot thicker than some of the more fashion-focused contemporaries. There's a nice 270-degree Goodyear welt. That's going to make it more durable, more resistant to water. It's going to make it easier to resole, which means it's going to make it easy to keep these boots for a long, long time. Alright, so let's talk about this leather. The 1000 Mile is so popular that it comes in endless varieties these days. There's a rough out, there's a wingtip, there's a cap toe, there's a bunch of other kinds of 1000 Mile. This is the classic brown Chromexcel leather 1000 Mile. So what is Chromexcel? Well, it is a type of full grain leather, first of all. Full grain leather is generally considered to be the best kind of leather for durable boots. It's made from the top layer of the cowhide, and it is durable, it's nice and thick, it ages very well, it develops a nice patina over time, which a lot of people really covet with their nice leather boots. It is not as uniform in color as top grain leather, which has that top layer sanded away, but nonetheless, it really does age very well, and those boots just become more you as they age. Chromexcel is a type of full grain leather. It comes from the Wolverine leather company in Chicago, and it is a very complicated kind of leather. It actually takes 89 separate processes over 28 working days to get the Wolverine Chromexcel leather. They imbue it with a lot of different waxes and greases and oils. There's some beef tallow in there, there's some beeswax. Before it leaves the company, it is also finished with some neat's foot oil, which is made from the shin bones and feet of cows. So there's a lot going on here, and that's why it has a very lustrous appearance. It has a real depth of color that a lot of people really love. But the Chromexcel, the top layer, is a little bit vulnerable to scratches and to wearing away. So it's not super difficult to lose that lustrous shine that the Chromexcel is famous for. So you really want to make sure you take proper care of these things. So Chromexcel is considered an unwaxed leather, so you do want to stay clear of waxed polishes when you're taking care of it. But the tricky thing with Chromexcel is that everyone seems to have a different idea of how to take care of it. Different boot companies, even though many of them use Chromexcel, they'll recommend different ways of taking care of them. Of course, different boot companies have different methods of processing their boots. Nonetheless, it is a bit confusing to find out how to take care of Chromexcel. Wolverine, the company themselves, they do recommend using neat's foot oil when you want to condition these boots. Other people like a nice greasy leather cream. Wolverine themselves, they actually have a nice video on their website detailing how to take care of these boots. What you want to do is, after you clean it with a damp cloth and brush it off whenever it gets dirty, they recommend using their own leather conditioner, which is made from a mixture of pine pitch and mink oil. But on the other hand, they also have a leather dressing, which adds beeswax to that mixture. That's for people who are going to have really heavy duty wear. If you're really giving these boots a beating, if you're spending a lot of time outside and you want it to be extra resistant to the elements, some people feel that kind of dressing can sort of suffocate the oil, but nonetheless, it will make them extra durable. Now, I do have to say I was not that crazy about the sole of the Wolverine 1000 Mile. As you can see here, the company has gone with a leather sole. So while it does have a nice classic look to it, it's not super durable, it scratches pretty easily, and it doesn't provide very much grip at all. I've worn these very boots in a couple of storms here in New York City, and I did find myself kind of skittering around a bit. It's not great at gripping the ground. That said, to Wolverine's credit, they have added a Vibram sole. This is a type of rubber that is very durable and does have very good grip. So if you just make sure your heel first, you're going to be less likely to slip. But if you don't like that slippage, it's not super hard to go to a cobbler and just get like a Vibram sole attached to the rest of the boot. It's not super hard, it's not super expensive. That said, not crazy about that leather sole. There are 3 layers to the sole. So there's the leather outsole, there's a cork midsole, and there's a leather insole. The cork midsole and the leather insole, those are meant to mold to the shape of your foot over time. And while I found these boots didn't really need much breaking in, they did gradually get more comfortable. As they're meant to be worn in, they are meant to help provide a little bit more arch support. That said, the arch support is not great on this particular boot. And unlike a lot of its contemporaries, there's no shank, there's no wood shank or steel shank in the middle to help provide extra arch support as you wear in the boots. So that was a downside. Now, one thing you do want to keep in mind with these boots is that they do run large. Just like the Red Wing Iron Ranger, which they're often compared to, you want to order a size smaller than you normally get, or at least a half size smaller. So in the Red Wing Iron Rangers, I'm a size 11, even though on the Brannock device, I'm an 11.75, and in most other brands, I'm like an 11.5. But these are an 11D, and they fit me really well. So D is the width, D refers to normal width. These are also available in triple E for triple extra wide. That's not actually a great selection of widths because the boots normally come, there's B, C, D, E, double E, and triple E. So that's a lot of widths. There are only 2 widths available with the 1000 mile, but nonetheless, triple E, that's going to be good news for guys with really tough to fit wide feet. Now, as far as the price goes, it actually varies a bit for these boots. On the Wolverine's official website, it's $365 for a pair. That's also what they cost on Nordstrom. On Amazon, however, they often go for a bit cheaper. It's not super hard to find them for $320 there if you want to try your luck on Amazon. So in my opinion, there are a lot of good reasons to get a pair of Wolverine 1000 miles. The main quality that these boots scream is rugged. These are very rugged, durable boots. They're going to look good outside and inside in a lot of situations. The leather is thick. There's 2 millimeters thick. It's thicker than a lot of its contemporaries. You get triple stitching along the vamp. You've also got this nice 270-degree Goodyear welt, which, while it will make the boots more water resistant and easy to resole, it makes for a slimmer silhouette around the heel as well, which a lot of guys like. It makes it a little bit less rugged looking while still being a pretty rugged boot. On top of that, it's got this Chromexcel leather. For a lot of people, the Chromexcel, it's sort of like a mixed blessing because while it will age pretty well, it gets a nice patina as it ages. It's got a real luster of color. It is a little bit vulnerable to scratching, but nonetheless, it really is a coveted leather that a lot of people look for. And finally, this is just a nice casual boot. So by that I mean there are a lot of boots out there, particularly like the pricier boots, that are pretty hard to pull off in just like jeans and a t-shirt. These boots, I think they're versatile in that I think you can wear them in casual situations. You can wear them to like a blue collar job, you can wear them to a bar, and they're gonna fit in all of those situations relatively easily. Now, there are plenty of reasons why you might not be quite so crazy about the Wolverine 1000 mile. They are rugged boots, but they do leave something to be desired as far as comfort goes. There's no lining at all. The toe spring is pretty high. There's a gusset tongue. Just generally speaking, they're more rugged than they are comfy. Another thing is that the leather really does crease quite a lot. These boots are just a few months old and they've creased very, very noticeably along the vamp here. So that was a little bit frustrating for relatively new boots that are meant to last 1,000 miles. Quality control, there were a few loose threads by the laces and also by the heel, which I wasn't very impressed with at all. The sole, it slips in water, it slips on ice. It's not super functional unless you want to get an extra Vibram sole attached to the bottom, which can be just a bit of an inconvenience. Finally, as I mentioned, one of the big pros with these boots is that they do work in a lot of casual environments. The obvious flip side to that is that they just do not work in formal environments. You cannot wear them with a suit. You cannot wear them in a business casual environment. Even just with a pair of khakis and a button down, they're just a bit outdoorsy. So as far as versatility goes, that is something you want to keep in mind. Okay, so those are my thoughts on the famous Wolverine 1000 mile boot. To learn more about the best boots on the market, just make sure you click subscribe below.